right, ladies and gentlemen, AEW Double or Nothing 2026 went down last night. And if you're here, you're asking yourself, well, what just happened? Well, I'm here to tell you, it was a fine show. I was there in attendance with some friends. It took place at Louis Armstrong Stadium. It was a sellout show. Looked great on TV, looked great just being yourself, the light that is always shining in my eye. For some reason, half the shows I go to, there's just a light shining in my eye. Happened at WrestleMania, it happened at Full Gear last year, and now here. I don't know, AEW, get your lights together, WWE, get your lights together, but let's get into Double or Nothing. We had three. First of all, before you even get into the matches on the buy-in, the pre-show, Mrs. Foley's baby boy, Mick Foley, ladies and gentlemen, is all elite. He joined Renee Paquette for the pre-show. It was absolutely fantastic. He is here. I think he's going to do great things for AEW. So we had three matches on the pre-show. First was a 5-minute eliminator match with the Divine Dominion and Zayda Steel taking on Zayda Steel and Viva Van. As Zayda and Viva Van survive the 5 minutes, they will get themselves a tag team championship match. Steel and Van, they tried to stall out the clock with evasive tactics, and they are faster. So like you see the Divine Dominion, they're called that because they're tall. These are some horses, ladies and gentlemen. This is death by snoo. All right, Zayda and Viva are the opposite, but Van lands a brief springboard offense before momentum completely shifts. Dominion pretty much overpower them with double team moves, double team strikes, and they win the match with 4:45. So 15 seconds. 15 seconds is all that was left on the clock, and Zayda Steel and Viva Van would have survived and got themselves a tag team championship match. Then we had a trios match with the Death Riders team of Yuta, Claudio, and Daniel Garcia. I think it was Claudio, taking on the Opps. That would be Hook, Shibata, and Anthony Bowens, because Joe was in the Owen. Yuta and Bowens trade early near falls. Shibata, Claudio collide and with stiff forearm exchanges, and Bowens got a hot tag, which was halted by triple team pressure, ultimately allowing the Death Riders to win the match. I actually wanted the Opps to win because I don't think they can just keep taking losses. Then we had a 10-man tag team match. It was Boom and Doom. That would be QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ teaming up with Conglomeration members Mark Briscoe, Roderick Strong, and Orange Cassidy taking on Shane Taylor Promotions. It's good to see Shane Taylor Promotions on the show. It's good to see Anthony Bowens wrestle. Not Anthony Bowens, I'm sorry, Anthony Ogogo wrestle. Cassidy was having some fun. Harley Cameron was having some fun. She's accompanied the Conglomeration. She's pretty much a member of the Conglomeration at this point. There was ringside chaos that ultimately led to a triple power bomb on Carlie Bravo, ending the match. It was a fun match. And then right before we move into the main show, MJF came out and had some words with Mick Foley and then gave him a low blow. Darby chased him off, and Mick gave Darby a pep talk that only Mick Foley can. Listen, y'all. Mick Foley's going to be great here in AEW. Our first match of the evening was the I Quit Street Fight, with FTR putting the World Tag Team Championship on the line against Cope and Cage. And this had everything except for blood. There was barbed wire, there was ladders, there was pliers, there was table spots. The violence escalated a lot. Stokely got involved until Beth Copeland made her return and stopped Stokely from interfering. They were going to spear FTR. They were going to spear Beth through a flaming table, like how Edge back in the day did Mick Foley at WrestleMania. But Christian, I believe, pulled Beth out of the way. Stokely got speared through the flaming table. Dual submissions with Spike allowed Cope and Cage to become the new tag team champions. Just awesome fun. Just awesome fun, ladies and gentlemen. And I think All Out is in Toronto this year. Could I see a send-off for Cope and Cage? Possibly, but this was a fun match. Then we had the match that I was looking forward to. Two matches, ladies and gentlemen. It was Willow Nightingale, but she's not in the card because she got injured. And this match, the International Championship. Kazuchika Okada putting the title on the line against Konosuke Takeshita. Listen, y'all, when they showed that this was the next match on the screen, the crowd went crazy. This is my favorite match of the evening. This was absolutely awesome. Strikes, exchanges, counters starting from the opening lockup. These two know each other so well. Okada had a rainmaker on the apron and the floor DDT to shift the momentum. But ultimately, there were a lot of sequences in the end that after them striking each other and both pretty much powering up, Takeshita got the win with the Fire Thunder driver becoming the new international champion after the match. So Don House was always on commentary. The rest of the family came out and they were, I guess there to celebrate Takeshita and Cassidy, shake hands, whatever. And then Kyle Fletcher came out, made his return, and because it looked like after the family came out, they were going to attack Takeshita, but Fletcher came out to protect his boy. The rest of the family left. Fletcher celebrated Takeshita and then turned on him and dropped him with a clothesline and a brainbuster, which, they telegraphed it. I just wasn't expecting it to happen. So no more Proto Shida. We got Proto Okada. But the kicker is Okada and Fletcher both went to pick up the international championship. So we'll see. I'm guessing triple threat match at Forbidden Door, and then probably the one-on-one match at All In. We'll see. Then we had the first match in the Owen Hart. This was on the women's side of things. Athena took on Mina Shirakawa. These two have history with each other. These two have beef. Mina was targeting Athena's knee for the whole match and controlling early. Athena rallied with her power and her top rope offense. Mina was getting near falls. Like, she had this match won. She got her with the back fist. She got her with the roll up. She got her with the figure four. But Athena is the fallen goddess. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match takes on Sari. I believe it's Sari in the second. Well, not Sari. The winner of the Sari Sky Blue match, which I think is going to be Sari, takes on that winner of that match in the second round. So ultimately, Athena got the W with the O base, and she moves on. The women's bracket, now that Willow Nightingale is out, is wide open. It is completely wide open. But Athena moves on. Then we had the Continental Championship match. Jon Moxley putting the belt on the line against Kyle O'Reilly. This match had no time limits, which means one of the things were going to happen. They were either going to go over the time limit or going to go under the time limit. This was really, really solid. This was a really good technical match with a lot of strikes. Kyle O'Reilly looks a little bit smaller than before. I didn't need this match on the card. I really thought that this could have been like a main event or a really good Dynamite, and we could have had the show end at around 11:30 instead of right after midnight. But this was technical grappling at its finest, with both people targeting their limbs. O'Reilly was selling his leg throughout because he likes using his legs for the strikes, limiting his offense, and ultimately they were giving each other submissions, arm bars, and they both ended up having an ankle lock on each other at the same time until John and ultimately made Kyle O'Reilly tap. This match went 18 minutes 41 seconds. After the match, both the Conglomeration and the rest of the Death Riders came out to support both of their people, and Mox and Kyle O'Reilly shook hands, mutual respect, because that's what the Death Riders are all about. Just a fantastic match. Then we had back-to-back Owen matches for the men. The first up was Samoa Joe and Will Ospreay in their quarterfinal match. Ospreay immediately ambushed Joe with the Nas Cutter right before the bell, and they were brawling. I did not hear the bell ring at all. I don't even know if it rang. Apparently it did. But after Ospreay's initial onslaught of offense, Joe slowed the pace down with his submissions and his strikes, and really controlled the match. Ospreay got some moves in, but Joe controlled a large portion of this middle match. Ospreay ended up firing back, getting his counters in, locking in submissions that he's learning from the Death Riders. He ultimately hit a Styles Clash and back-to-back hidden blades for the W. He tried to get Joe up for not only for a Tiger Driver and Storm Zero. He just couldn't do it. Joe was too heavy. So, learning from the Death Riders, he had to switch to the submission style, focus more on the strikes, and he ultimately won with the hidden blade. This is a really fantastic man. Joe, a man of his word, showed Ospreay the respect after the match, gave him a bow. Then we had Bandito and Swerve for their Owen Cup match. Swerve has gotten the better of Bandito with the exception of last week. He wants power, and he's been targeting Bandito. I can see them definitely fighting for the Ring of Honor Men's Championship. Bandito got through the overwhelming of Swerve's early offense with power and aerials, and this was pretty much even pace. Once they're on the same footing, this was a really an even match. Swerve countered with his strikes and his apron offense. There was a poison rhino on the apron, and Bandito hit the 21 plex, and Swerve just got out. Ultimately, Bandito went for the 21 plex one more time when Swerve countered it by holding onto the ropes and then sliding Bandito under to drop him with the vertebraker and finish him off with a house call, and Swerve moves on. So he will face the winner of the Brody King Claudio match, and Ospreay faces the winner of the Mark Davis Jack Perry match. It's going to be fun. Then we had the Women's World Championship on the line as Thekla was putting the title on the line in a fatal four-way against former world champions Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander. I love this match. I love the difference in styles. We have the two horses in Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander. We have Thekla's craziness, and we have Shida's sneakiness. The Triangle of Madness did not play a part in this match at all. So there are multiple shades. They immediately jumped Thekla in the beginning of the match. We had a spot where there, the rolling roll up spots and fatal fours where I'll roll you up 1-2, I'll roll that person up, roll that person up 1-2, so on and so forth. Stat and Shida tension went to the service, so I'm looking for their one-on-one match. Shida used her kendo stick. Hayter really controlled a lot of the match and then just hitting Haterade after Haterade. But Shida broke it up, and Thekla won with the spear on Jamie Hayter. Just a fun match. Then we had the Stadium Stampede, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, Stadium Stampede and Anarchy in the Arena are the same match. One takes place in the stadium, one takes place in an arena. Since we're in New York, there are two restrictions on this match. That's there's no blood and you are not allowed to brawl in the crowd. So it was Jericho, Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, Jack Perry, Omega, and the Young Bucks taking on the Demand, Mark Davis, Andrade, and the Dogs. Both teams got special entrances, which was really cool. Opening videos. The good guys came out to Jericho's theme, even though a lot of us wanted to hear the Hurt Syndicate's music. You know what I mean? We heard people. But the crowd loves Jericho's theme. This was such a fun match. Everybody brawled everywhere. There were top rope moves. There was shopping carts, trash cans, and baseball bats, and they fight to the back. And Jericho's got the tennis ball machine on Ricochet, and there's a Foo fight started by Satnam Singh. There was a guy in the in the back who I didn't know that showed up. I'm not sure, but it was a fun match. It was good. Ultimately, the good guys won with a 7-way super kick on Bishop Khan, who took the bullet for Ricochet, and that was great. He took a bullet for his man. And it was fun. Ultimately, the good guys won. Absolutely fun. Then we had the main event, lady and gentlemen, hair versus title. Darby Allin putting the championship on the line against Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Wow. What can I say? These two know each other so well. They have history. Darby opened up with high-risk offense, doing what he does with those violent bumps. And MJF targeted the neck and spine to slow down the pace, because that's what MJF does. These two honestly are evenly paced, and on their best days, I do think Darby gets the better of MJF, but MJF cheated, as he always does. He ultimately won the match with a avalanche tombstone power driver after escalating counters from both men, and then dropping Darby once again with a headlock takeover. He keeps beating this man with a headlock takeover, and we have a new champion. Here you go. MJF is a 3-time AEW World Champion. He celebrates after the match arrogantly over Darby, who was on the stretcher, and the officials are trying to help him to the back until Kevin Knight runs off MJF, and then hits a UFO splash on Darby while Darby's on the stretcher, and then pushes the stretcher over. What? MJF went looking from scared to looking like, is this good? I don't know. We will see what happens on Dynamite this Wednesday. I will be there. It's in Philly. Yeah. Ultimately, this was a great show. If I could summarize the show, I'll put it to you like this. Double or Nothing delivered a dense, high-impact card with multiple tournament bouts, violent stipulations, and major title changes. Takeshita versus Okada stood out as, in my opinion, the top-tier classic that was always meant to be, while the I Quit Street fight opened the new pay-per-view with a heavy weapon spots and emotional payoff. The Owen Tournament matches maintained blistering pace, and Thekla retained in a chaotic four-way. The Stadium Stampede erupted into a full arena anarchy like that, before ultimately getting to our main event of MJF closing the night by reclaiming the championship and the heel turn from Kevin Knight. Just a great show. 9 out of 10. That's my rating. It was awesome. It was really awesome. But that is what just happened. Come back this Saturday for the Highest Wrestling Podcast as we look at the Clash in Italy card, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeremy Pierce. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.